I don't even have words to describe. Like, I'm so discombobulated right now. I am very pumped that they won. I am. 9-1. 9-1. That is all that fucking matters at the end of the day. But I am so discombobulated, I forgot to put my fucking hat on. I forgot to put that. My God. That game was terrible. That game was terrible. How'd they win? How the hell they win? Jesus Christ, both teams were bad. Both teams were bad. That's bottom line. Both teams were bad. Which team wanted to suck less? And that was the Eagles at the end. Honestly, you could say the Chiefs gave away the game, in my honest opinion. They're up at halftime. They have all these chances because the Eagles are going through so many 3-and-outs, so many dumb offensive play calls from Brian Johnson. They look completely lost, basically, for 3 quarters, except for one drive where they got the touchdown. And that is basically it through those first 3 quarters. And then the Chiefs, they just have all these golden opportunities. They get up by an extra score, and then you think they're going to eventually run away with the game. The Eagles come back, they get the touchdown, and then the Eagles defense, they step up. And honestly, this is what I want to say about this game, specifically defensively for the Eagles. The run defense sucked. But the defense still did their job. We could say that the run defense sucked the entire time, but the defense did their fucking job. They shut out the Kansas City Chiefs in the second half. Granted, that final bomb by Patrick Mahomes dropped by Scantling. How the hell does he drop that? How the hell do you drop that ball? How? How many drops did the Chiefs didn't have in this game? They had to have had multiple. Travis Kelce with a couple of drops. Watson with a couple of drops. Who else? I believe, Watson had a couple of drops. Kelce had a couple of drops. I'm sure Rice did. Scantling with that last play in the game. Like, dude, that was the game right there. That was the game. Mahomes had him dimed up right from the get-go. It was a perfect throw from Mahomes. It should have been caught. This should have ended out in a Chiefs win on that play right there. And it didn't. And it just didn't. The Eagles steal one, and like I said, I don't care how you win these games. Personally, I just don't. I hated the way that you looked through 90% of this game, but when plays had to be made, DeAndre Swift stepped up, Jalen Hurts stepped up, and especially Devontae Smith, because the Eagles were not even able to get A.J. Brown the ball at all. He catches the ball once. He only gets 6 yards on it. The passing game was just completely not there for at 90% of this game. It was just basically when you needed a big play, get the ball to Devontae Smith or let DeAndre Swift run the ball, because those two dudes on the offensive side were really good for you. Offensive line, this was probably the worst game I've seen from this offensive line in so many years. Just getting all the pressure in the world to getting the Jalen Hurts. And yeah, credit to the Chiefs defense. They're one of the best in the league for a reason. But just all that pressure, all those sacks. I don't even think I saw Jalen Hurts get sacked that many times in my life. Probably, but not to this egregious extent. For how bad it looked for so many consecutive drives. It just felt that bad. They felt completely lost in a lot of aspects of the game. There was miscommunications on every point. There was just, nothing going for you. The run was getting stopped at certain points, even though the one drive where you managed to get the first touchdown for yourselves, that was a drive established by DeAndre Swift being himself. And what also helped for you, he also, Jason Kelce gets a couple of huge blocks on some of his big gains. But both teams turned the ball over. The Chiefs ended up turning it over more because of that fumble later on in the game in that fourth quarter, which helped you out a lot. Defensively, man, besides how bad the run defense was in this game, and the Chiefs, they were running all over you. The Chiefs, they're one of the worst teams running the ball this year, and they somehow run it all over you. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah, you want to, say that the refs were being very complacent with calling the holds in this game. Yeah, you could say that. This is a game where there were a lot of questionable calls on both sides. There were a lot of calls missed on both sides as well. That's every single NFL game. Like, it was that bad. Like, seriously, I even thought that call on Brandon Graham, the offsides, well, it wasn't called on him, it was called on the Chiefs for offsides, but I completely thought that was on Brandon Graham. I didn't even see any Chiefs player go offsides there. And then, on one of the final drives, which eventually led to the Scantling drop, it was just to the fact that, Fletcher Cox, what are you doing there? I understand roughing the passer is the most bullshit penalty and the softest penalty in the league. You got to be smarter there, dude. You're way better than that. You can't be taking that dumb penalty to give the Chiefs better field position at that point. They even tried coming close to winning the game, and they did come close to winning the game if it wasn't for Scantling dropping the ball. So you caught a major break in that situation. You just did. You just did. But 9-1. 9-1. 9-1. That's what helps when you shut out the Chiefs in the second half. It's just weird. I've never seen a Kansas City offense perform this badly, in my honest opinion. And they completely know Patrick Mahomes, he only had 177 yards passing in this game, but I think the Chiefs as a total had like over 300 yards of offense, and it's just both teams offensively weren't the best. Let's be honest here. Both teams offensively were not good. It felt like the Eagles were just way worse, though. And in my opinion, they were way worse offensively, but they did make the plays when they needed to. Jalen Hurts in this game, 14 of 22, 150 yards, 5 sacks. He had a rating of 64. Hurts, his presence in the pocket just looked like he just wasn't seeing the field as well in certain situations, especially when Kansas City was just bringing blitz after blitz after blitz after blitz after blitz. And that's what happened. And that's what led to so many sacks in a row. It was ridiculous in that standpoint. Seriously, there was a section, I believe this was in the third quarter, when this was either during one of the interception plays by Byard. Byard actually did something in this game, or if it was one of the fumbles that I believe it was Job that forced the fumble there on Travis Kelce. And there were situations, too, that, the Eagles almost fumbled the ball. Jalen Hurts getting sacked. Thankfully, he was able to fall on top of it. And there was also a situation where Jalen Hurts, when he threw the interception, ticky-tacky, A.J. Brown ends up in Sneed's. Their ankles touch each other. That's why he was called down on the play. And and A.J. Brown, rips the ball right from his hands before he was even down. But, when Sneed catches the interception, A.J. Brown did his best to avoid touching him, but their legs, baby touched that entire, that's in that situation. And they went to review. They called it, he was down by contact in that point. There was just a lot of weirdness in this game overall. It just was. It just was. My God. My God, this was a weird game. This was such a weird game. You didn't think these two powerhouse type of teams were just built for this type of slop fest. Was that granted because the weather in Kansas City was terrible? Maybe that could have been the case. It was raining the entire game. The wind was all over the place. It was not perfect conditions from any standpoint. It definitely wasn't. But just, my God, it was ugly. My God, it was ugly. Drop passes everywhere, just everything. Wasn't bad miscommunication on the Eagles side. Seriously, when I was trying to bring it up earlier and I just got, discombobulated and just started thinking about everything else. 3 out of 4 plays in a row, I believe this was in the third quarter. In your own territory, you're calling 2 screen passes in a row. 1st and 10 screen pass, I believe it was to Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown doesn't, cover the block on Sneed, and Devontae gets hit, the ball comes loose, and it goes out of bounds, which almost could have been intercepted or called for a fumble, and which would have went the other way for the Chiefs, and they probably would have scored a touchdown on that. And then eventually, the very next play, you go to another screen pass. Because the first screen pass worked so perfectly fine, let's throw it to the other side to Julio Jones. Yeah, that'll work. It got snuffed out instantly. It's ridiculous. Seriously, how many 3-and-outs did the Eagles have in this game? Because they had to have had a lot. They had to have had so many 3-and-outs. So you look at the first 2 drives of the game for both teams. Punt, 3-and-out by the Chiefs, and a 3-and-out by the Eagles. So both defenses come up there. Both teams get a touchdown, a 10-drive play by the Chiefs, and a 9-drive play by the Eagles. both basically the exact same time of possession. A 3-and-out by the Chiefs on their next drive. Eagles in good field position. Jalen Hurts throws an interception, and then Patrick Mahomes throws the interception in the end zone. So basically, both teams are just trading blows at this point in certain situations. Eagles punt directly out of the interception, and then the Chiefs, they get their touchdown. Eagles punt again because for some reason Kenneth Gainwell loves to be the 2-minute drill back, and he runs out of bounds with 1:35 left for some reason on a 2nd and long. And in that situation, he doesn't run out of bounds. The clock still goes, and you just kneel the ball, and the quarter ends. The half ends. Instead, you have to go because the clock doesn't stop. You eventually have to punt the ball, and the Chiefs go back down the field, and they get a field goal to make it 17-7. And then 4 straight punts from both teams, a 3-and-out by the Eagles to start the second half, a 4-play punt by the Chiefs, another 3-and-out by the Eagles, and a 3-and-out by the Chiefs. So, yeah, not the best offensive performance to start the second half. Then the Eagles, they finally get their touchdown, thanks to an amazing pass by Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith. Gets him down to the 1-yard line. Amazing pass. Amazing pass. Amazing pass there to Devontae Smith. And then eventually you push it in for the touchdown. And then the Chiefs fumble in Philadelphia territory. Amazing punch out there to force the fumble. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was Roby. It was Roby that managed to just freaking punch the ball out of the hands of Travis Kelce. And that was great. That was a great play right there. And what else? You score, you go 3-and-out directly after that fumble. That was the drive when you did the 3 straight screen passes, which freaking got under my skin for eons there. But then you force the Chiefs to punt again, and then you go back down the field and get that touchdown. Actually, this was the drive that got that huge passing play to Devontae Smith, 40 yards. Got him down to the 1-yard line, and then you get that push for that touchdown. And then Jalen Hurts on the second Eagles touchdown, that was his run up the middle. Read the blitz coming in, gets a block up the middle, goes right into the end zone for a nice score. That was the 17-14 score, and then after this touchdown by the push becomes 21-7. Eagles force a 3-and-out by the Chiefs the very next drive. Eagles punt because they decide to be stupid because, they take a couple of penalties. They get into certain long situations to force to punt the ball. But then probably one of their best punts of the year. Like, holy shit, one of their best punts of the year. I believe it was Josh Jobe that made the huge hit to keep it on the 9-yard line. And then the Chiefs, they try to go down the field. Eagles take a couple of penalties. You get a holding by Mailata. You get the roughing the passer by Fletcher Cox, where he has to be smarter in that situation. But then you get the drop by Scantling. You get a couple of drops by Travis Kelce. Then you get into a 4th and 25 situation where they're forced to go for it. And another situation where Kelce dropped it and it popped out of his hands and ball turned over because it became 4th and 25 because the Eagles managed to get the Mahomes and managed to sack him, but he threw the ball away and it didn't get beyond the line of scrimmage to where it forced an intentional grounding, which also helped the fact they also were forced to waste a timeout there, so they didn't have any timeouts there. So basically on that 4th and 25 play, you get the stop, you win the game because they have no timeouts. So that helped you out there. Scantling dropping that touchdown pass was the game. That's basically it. Scantling needs to catch that ball. He needs to catch that ball. That is bottom line. That is complete bottom line. Complete bottom line. Scantling has to drop that pass. It doesn't have to drop that pass. He has to catch the ball. That's what he has to do. But he dropped the pass. That's exactly what happened. And the Eagles win this game somehow. And the Eagles win this game somehow. I hated the way they played. I hated the way they played. I hated the way that they played. My God. My God. My God. Jesus. That was a game that I thought was never going to end. It was a game that probably took 50 years off my life, watching that entire slop fest. I hated the way the Eagles played. They just looked scared. They looked discombobulated. Brian Johnson was terrible. The play calling was terrible. It was. They did step up in the fourth quarter, though. I do give them a ton of credit for that. They did step up in that late part of the third quarter, in the fourth quarter. The defense stepped up the entire second half. Granted, the Chiefs were dropping a lot of shit. You know, I would throw some shade over to the Chiefs' way, but I ended up dropping it. That's basically it there, like the receivers did. Ha 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 ha. Terrible joke, I know. I don't have a day job. Don't judge me. Like I said, I've lost my marbles after watching this game. But at the end of the day, the result is 9-1. And 9-1, that's all that matters. And it just gives you more separation in the standings, better suited to keep the number 1 seed in the NFC. And hey, I know all the talk coming into this game was the Super Bowl rematch. I just wanted to fucking go 9-1. I didn't care about the fucking Super Bowl rematch. Just go 9-1. Just go 9-1. Please. Please. Thank God Taylor Swift wasn't there, because we would have been freaking flustered with all the Swift stuff and Travis Kelce. My God. We would have been flooded with all that crap. Thank God she wasn't there. Holy shit. But hey, man. 9-1. 9-1. That's all that matters. It's all that matters at the end of the day. But please don't play like that again. For the love of God. Do not play like that again. Do not play like that again. Because that was not enjoyable. That was not enjoyable. And I'm sure Chiefs fans weren't enjoyed by the way they played. I'm sure that was the case too. I am happy they won. I have no idea how they won, but holy hell, the Eagles should not have won that game. I'm going to be first and foremost about that. The Eagles should not have won that game. They should have not have won that game. They really shouldn't have. My God. I've never had so little faith in a 9-1 team before. That's the weird thing, man. They just find ways to win. Shouldn't that describe them why they're a good team? Why they're one of the best teams in the NFL? Is because they find ways to win, even when they're not playing good at all. They find ways, man. They find ways. You got to give so much credit to the defense. You do. For as bad as the run defense was in this game, the secondary made plays. Fucking Byard did something. Byard did something. For the first time since being fucking traded over here. How many weeks has he been on this Eagle squad? Like 2-3 weeks at this point? And this is the first time I've noticed him? That's brilliant. And after that first touchdown where there was just so much miscommunication and he missed his man, wide open was Watson in the end zone for that first touchdown. Hell, I'll take the fucking interception. I'll take it and we can run with it. My God. But there could be some situations where, yes, they're missing Dallas Goedert in a lot of key situations for the pass blocking and all that stuff with the way that he can be a threat on the field. That's definitely going to be a loss for these next couple of weeks here. That definitely is going to be. It sucks not having him, and they got to figure out a way to adjust to that. It's weird not seeing a game where A.J. Brown is barely involved. That's just how poor the passing game was today. That's just how poor everything was. Like, seriously, I've never seen the offensive line get torched that badly. In my life. And you got Cam Jurgens back to where you have a full, healthy offensive line. To where like, oh, man, this is great. We had a full, healthy offensive line going up against, one of the best defenses in the league. And we got torched on the offensive line. But we still won. 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 You made plays when you needed to. And shouldn't that be the sign of a good team? Shouldn't it be? I expect them to bounce back next week offensively against the Bills at home in the Link. I expect that completely. You got the Bills next week and you got the 49ers the following week. Both home games, I believe. The Bills, they've definitely been heavily underachieving this year. It's still going to be a tough game, regardless. But so far in this gauntlet, you have won every game in said gauntlet. So far. You won the Dallas game. You won the Miami game. Mixed in there was the Commanders game, and now you won the Chiefs game. And the gauntlet continues with Buffalo, with San Francisco and Seattle, and then Dallas again. You're winning the games right now, and that's the most important thing. That you're winning those games right now. You're finding ways. You're finding ways. But hey, 9-1 is all that matters at the end of the day, regardless of how ugly it looked. I'm sure they'll clean it up next week. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Man. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to sleep. I'm just going to be thinking about how ugly that game was. It just wasn't enjoyable, man. Oh, my God. My God. My God. That was just crazy. That was just crazy. We don't have anything in the hotline today. No calls there. Some people probably asleep after that. Some people probably thought the game was over. They turned it off. But I'll get to you guys here in the live feed before we end it off. And I do want to see if there's anything on Twitter. Just in regards to after the game and quotes and all that stuff from like Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and all that. So we'll get those lined up and see if I can find shit on Twitter. This is the worst 9-1 team I've ever seen. Chiefs gave the game away. Turbo Cheese the Troll. How you doing, Troll? How you doing, my guy? Pat jump into D-line. I've fallen. I can't get up. I know. I did see a lot of people complaining about Pat Mahomes constantly complaining to the refs. I did see a lot of that on Twitter. Turbo Cheesy. Scantling could have won in the game, but dropped it. There's a pattern of second half adjustments by the Desai, and I love it. Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to the Desai, man. He does make major adjustments, unlike some other biggest fraud in the fucking NFL, i.e. Jonathan Gannon. My God, I hate that dude. Quite happy to have a Swifty free game. Could have used Dallas Goedert tonight. Oh, they can use Dallas Goedert at any point. They're definitely going to be missing him over the next course of the next, 4 weeks or something like that he's out for. He's not on the IL or the IR, whatever it's called. So, definitely he's going to be missed. He'll be back, but he's definitely being missed right now. What else? The New York Rangers lost. Is that supposed to mean anything? I haven't been following the Rangers. I know they've been nasty this year, but is that supposed to mean anything? Is that supposed to mean anything? Let's see. Let me see. Is there anything from this game? Or I'm trying to find any quotes. I don't think there is right now. I don't think there are right now. Just people just losing their minds on Twitter. That's basically it. People losing their minds. That's basically it there. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, how about that, boys? How about that? Okay, with that Chiefs loss, the Ravens are currently the AFC #1 seed. And because the Chiefs, the Browns, the Dolphins, and the Jaguars are now all 7-3. Interesting. The Rangers are ahead of the Flyers in the division. Honestly, I know I looked in the Flyers recaps last night about the division and all that crap. I didn't even realize like we were like short behind the Rangers or something like that. I haven't been paying attention to that. But hey, you get Aaron Nola re-signed. You get a Flyers back-to-back wins on Saturday and Sunday, and you follow that up with, and also Sixers wins on Friday and Sunday as well. Don't forget about that. And then you follow that up with an Eagles win when they probably did not deserve to win this game at all. Clearly, and in my opinion, they didn't deserve to win this game, but they found a way to win. They found a way to win, and good teams find ways to win, even when they're playing terrible. My God. My God. I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight, man. I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight after that, because my brain is just melted. My brain is just completely melted. Oh, well, at least we'll enjoy Thanksgiving this week and not have to fumble about that Eagles loss. An Eagles loss. We can, celebrate an Eagles win going into the holiday weekend before we, play it again next Sunday against the Bills. So at least that'll be more enjoyable for the most part. So Philadelphia got a bunch of wins this weekend. Sixers got 2 wins. Flyers got 2 wins. Phillies re-signed Nola. And the Eagles get a win. Feels nice. Feels good. It feels good. So if we look at the upcoming weeks here, obviously, like I said, you got the Bills next week, 4:25 in the Link. And then December 3rd against the 49ers, 4:25 as well at the Link. And then you got 2 road games in a row, the 10th and the 17th against Dallas and Seattle. Then the final 3 games of the season against the Giants and the Cardinals. So, yeah, getting into the back stretch of the season here, boys. It's going to be here before you know it, man. It's going to be here before you know it. How many games are left even? 7? Yeah, 7 games left. Season, it's flown by. It's completely flown by. And it flies by when you're 9-1. That's basically it. When you're 9-1, it flies by. Man. Mr. No Balls Gannon is 2-8. Thank God he decided to stay in Arizona. Oh, Arizona's clearly tanking. They might win a few more games because they got Kyler Murray back, but they're still not a good team. They're still not. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it at tonight, boys. 9-1. They found a way to win in Arrowhead. Playing sloppy as hell and stupid as hell. But they found a way and they made plays when they needed to. That is the most important thing there. So, that'll do it for tonight, everybody. I appreciate all you guys for joining me here late, recapping this game. Everyone here, go to sleep. We'll have some more conversations probably during the week before the holiday. What do we got on the fence for? I do believe we have Sixers tomorrow. We have Flyers on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So yeah, we could definitely have some talks. Sixers tomorrow possibly. Flyers Wednesday possibly before we get into Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So yeah, some stuff on the docket here. Definitely stay tuned for some of those things. And yeah, just stay tuned. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service with the YouTube algorithm. Comment, like, subscribe. Join the TTP Sports family. Grow this baby up here. Keep it going, boys. Let's keep it going. Also, don't forget to use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thanks, guys, for joining again tonight. Birds get the win. 9-1.